Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you so much for each of you for joining us. And today it's fifth year that we are hosting in this great hall, Harvard Club. But I can't be enough grateful to our co-chair, Madam President Vaida Vika-Freiberger, for again being back to New York and joining us. And to every time that you are attending our events, you just simply inspire us. And Ambassador Melan Verver, definitely for being back since 2012. And His Excellency Minister Babayev, the COP29 President-designate, and every single guest. Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Moratinos, and I can count all of these our members. And for today, with our calculations, that we can be proud that this is the biggest event for former President, Prime Ministers, and Ministers, plus head of UN agencies, next to the UN General Assembly. And with that, I would like to, first of all, if you can see on your tables that you have flowers, and but all of them is flowers, different colors. Some of them been made by our staff members, designed. Some of them is being supported from the Harvard Club, but they are all flowers, different colors. But that means, like, you know, as human nature, with color, with gender, with identity, with religion, we are human beings, and we have just simply tried to find out possibilities where we can be coexisting together. Because, I mean, everyone is using these words, but we literally don't have planet B. We have to find out the way how we are going to survive. And it's now great honor and pleasure to ask Madam President Vaida Vika-Freiberger.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a treasured tradition for several years now of bestowing the Nizami Ganjavi International Prize on distinguished personalities who have made a mark in this world and who have made a significant contribution to making this world better. This evening, we're privileged to have with us the Right Honorable Theresa May, whom we should like to honor for her many accomplishments, starting with her unwavering support for gender equality. In her long years of service and devotion to the public space and to the interests of the public, she has never forgotten that the participation of women is an essential, an inescapable, a badly needed contribution, and that the female sensitivity, in addition to equal competencies with men, can make a difference in situations and in organizational units that otherwise tend to be overrun by some excess of masculine power play and masculine ideas of what it means to be in charge and to be responsible. Her second enormous contribution has been in the field of public service. Those of us in Europe particularly had the occasion of seeing her struggle with the refractory parliament at a moment when Britain, its voters having decided to secede from the European Union, the task of getting an agreement, because one cannot just walk away as from a friendly relationship. This was a deeply embedded 40-year-old relationship that had to be severed. And my husband and I remember watching, and she'll forgive me if I call it that, the entertainment of the British Parliament as it was struggling, and especially the valiant efforts of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable May, trying to hold this together. and to do what was in her eyes the necessary and the best thing for her nation. But we have here tonight the privilege also of having her book, and that is a remarkable contribution, because in it she examines and describes in convincing detail a series of situations where she felt that those who were in positions of decision-making and of authority failed to understand that they were in their positions not for their own enjoyment, not for their career advancement, not for the glory of their party, of the faction that they represented, but the very idea of working in the public domain should be rooted in the sense of doing something for the people, of being, in fact, a servant of the people. And Britain has given the world that interesting phrase, public servant, because that is the ideal. If everywhere in the world public servants were really convinced that their job and their task in life and the accomplishment of their personal mission means looking to what the public needs and how, in what manner, by what actions, by what decisions they can contribute to remedying some dire situation or preventing one that's even more dire. Madam May, we are delighted that you could be with us tonight, and would I ask you, would you please come up to the podium that we have the honor of bestowing upon you the Nizami Ganjavi International Award. So, where shall we stand? Over here. I feel it's a great privilege.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your work.
Shall we?
Yes. Well, thank you very much indeed for bestowing this honour upon me, and it is a great pleasure to be able to join you. And may I say a huge thank you to the NGIC for being an environment, as one or two people said earlier today, in which it is possible for people to have proper and serious discussions, albeit from different points of view, but to discuss issues. And I think that is so important in today's world, where people tend to take absolutist positions and are not willing to compromise and to talk about their positions and find resolution. So thank you for providing that space. And thank you also for the reference to my book. I very much believe that those of us who are in politics, those of us who are elected to represent others, have one duty, and that is to serve the people we represent. It is not about us, it's not about our parties, it's about our country, and it's about the people. And I hope that we will see in the future generations of politicians who are able to take forward that idea that being in politics is about being in service, to the service of your country and the service of your people. Thank you.